Hey there, friends. Meteorologist Shane Smith here with you. It is Wednesday, November 5th. Remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. No, it's not V for Vendetta, although that is a great movie. It's weather with me, and we're looking a little bit treasonous, maybe because I'm mentioning snow in the forecast. Yes, snow once again. Now, not looking like a lot. There's a chance of it Sunday into Monday. We'll get to that. The bigger story, Mother Nature may be providing the fireworks instead of Guy Fawkes. So we have severe thunderstorms possible on Friday. Let's go to Radar Omega. Right now, we're nice and dry. You'll notice low pressure back up into jolly old New England. That's bringing rain and a little bit of wintry mix trying to show up on a little bit of the radar up near Ottawa, Canada. There is a cold front draping off of that low down towards Oklahoma City, and that cold front moves in through the overnight hours tonight, and that drops those temperatures like you'll see down below. In fact, we wake up upper 30s. Watch out for a little bit of frost tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, we're only in the low 60s, so not as nice as today. Sorry there, friends. But the bigger story, and honestly the biggest story out of the next 7 days of weather here in the Bluegrass, is the severe weather threat on Friday. Our friends over at the Storm Prediction Center have already placed us under a severe weather outlook with a slight risk of severe weather for all the areas highlighted in yellow. That does include the cities of Bowling Green, Campbellsville, Somerset, Danville, Monticello, Glasgow, Columbia, Russellville, Franklin, and Oak Grove. So that is a level 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Now we back things out, take a look at the rest of the state, and you see most of the rest of the Bluegrass under that level 1 marginal risk. Now you're probably saying, Shane, it's been a little bit since we've dealt with severe weather. It's not something we talk about all the time. What did those severe weather outlooks mean? Well, we got a graphic for that. It's right over here. Okay, so with that, marginal risk. This is most of the state. Isolated severe thunderstorms, they're going to be limited in duration, coverage, and intensity. Remember, a severe thunderstorm is one that has 58 mile per hour winds or 1-inch diameter hail. For most of us, that's just a really, really strong thunderstorm around here, but that hail and the wind is where you start getting some minor damage. Now, once you start getting above that, that's when we start to see the intensity increase, the damage potential increase, and the severity increase. And that begins with the level 2 risk, the slight risk. That means scattered severe thunderstorms. So isolated, you may have 1 or 2. Scattered, we may see 3 to 5 storms prompting off warnings. They're going to likely be short-lived. They're not going to be widespread, but some of them could be a little bit stronger. So that is what we are looking out for on Friday. Now, the weather modeling is not overly sold on the severe threat right now, although we're just starting to get into the range of some of the really high resolution stuff. Like my favorite severe weather model is the high resolution rapid refresh model. It only goes out 48 hours. Now, we should have another run out a little bit later tonight, and I may post an update on my Facebook page showing some of the latest data. But this is as far out as this long range run goes. This goes out until 12 o'clock noon Central Time on Friday. And you'll notice those thunderstorms just starting to fire up. Not looking too impressive on the future radar, at least on the raw reflectivity, but you'll notice the sounding data showing marginal severe capability, and that's because of the shear. Now, you're probably saying, Shane, what the S is shear? Well, shear is difference in wind speed and direction with height. And what that means is at the surface, winds may be coming from the south up about 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. Winds could be coming from the west to northwest, and they may be much faster. And that difference in speed and direction causes rotation in the atmosphere, causes those winds to get stirred down and pushed down by those downdrafts. That can lead to straight line winds, and if those rotating columns of air are strong enough, can lead to tornadoes. Now, not a great tornado threat in this setup, but it's not zero. So that's something we're going to watch out for. I'll have more on that tomorrow. Regardless, though, of the thunderstorms and the severe threat, we're going to see some really gusty winds as that front blasts through here on Friday. In fact, ahead of the frontal system, we're going to see gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. Some gusts maybe even pushing 45. That's before the thunderstorms really take off. The European model showing a little bit more intense action on Friday. Notice this line of broken thunderstorms. Some of those could be severe, especially around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon from London over to Somerset to Monticello, back down into Lake Cumberland. We're going to be watching that little area pretty closely, and that will push eastward. Once again, this is one model's take on it. Different models will have different opinions, but the majority of the range should be over Friday, although the GFS model is holding a little bit back Saturday night. So is the European. And then as our next system moves in, rain transitions to snow on Sunday, and snow lingers into Monday. Now, some of the other modeling, not quite as aggressive with the snow chances on Sunday and Monday. Here's the GFS's take. It's a lot lighter, not nearly as widespread or as intense. And the Canadian model, once again, showing a few flakes possibly Sunday night into Monday morning, not a ton. So the European model, definitely on the more aggressive side of things as the modeling data goes. But I don't think that even if we got that much snow, that much would stick. The ground, while I wouldn't say it's warm, it's not exactly freezing. GFS model showing hardly any accumulation except on Black Mountain. That seems like a very realistic scenario to me. The UK model, that's the British model, showing a little bit more. Once again, I don't think we go quite that much, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. We've still got a lot of time before we get to that system on Sunday and Monday, and we got that severe weather to deal with Friday. That could really shape the scene for the weekend. Now, what is looking likely overall is that much colder air on Monday. In fact, I don't think highs go out in the mid to upper 30s on Monday. Monday is going to be downright blustery. Back to the 40s on Tuesday, 50s on Wednesday, 60s by the end of the week, upper 60s flirting with 70 next weekend. So we're not going to stay cold just yet, but this is the first real big cold snap of the season, and could be a sign of things to come. I've been looking at some of the long-range data, and it does look like Kentucky is going to end up on the battleground between that hotter, warmer air off to the south, the colder air off to the north. When we end up on that battleground, things get interesting around here. So some early winter predictions. I think we're going to be above average in precipitation. Temperature-wise, probably skew a little below average, but I think we're going to see some big swings this winter. I think you're going to see some prolonged cold periods, followed by some kind of fall spring type stuff and some muddy seasons. So this is not going to be a winter where I think the pattern just locks in and stays cold for weeks on end. I think we're going to see a lot of back and forth. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. That's some of my early thoughts. We may dig a little deeper to that into the future. In the meantime, be weather aware on Friday. I'll have another video coming out tomorrow, another long form one, talking a little more in depth about the Friday severe weather, and then we will be on the lookout for that on Friday. I'll post updates as I can, and then we'll set our sights for the weekend on the snow for Sunday and Monday. So a lot to talk about, things starting to become a little bit more active in the bluegrass weather, and I'm here to track it for you and keep you ahead of the storms. So thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button, depending on which platform you are watching on. On Facebook, we just passed 2,400 followers. Thank you all very much. We are almost to 500 on YouTube. All of those follows and shares help out a bunch. Those hitting that like button or smashing it on YouTube really helps out. So if you find value in what I'm doing, please consider hitting that subscribe or that share button. All right, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Until next time, take care, stay weather aware. Bye-bye.